is on bonus hour, kids. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. I just had a young lady ask me where you get the shot skis. I don't know what is going on around here, but A-Lene is packed out. And let me tell you, Casey, it was a wild night. So A-Lene set us up with rooms last night. So we finish up happy hour yesterday. Primetime jumps on. And I got to hang out with a few of the fan listeners. Then I took off just for a minute, left the casino to go coach some 8- and 9-year-old girls lacrosse. Oh, it was wild. We came back here with the kids, hit the pool. Woo, buddy, what a night. Took full advantage of the casino, walked through it partially. It was a wild night. So if you want to come down and get the same kind of energy, come down to A-Lene right now. We're right outside of Tom's Watch Bar. We've got all the games on. There's about 17 Taco Bell commercials up on the screen right now. I mean, what an environment. Casey, are you going to make it down here tonight? What's going on, bud?
I'm not able to make it down tonight because I'm celebrating the girlfriend's birthday.
Why not celebrate it here? You could win her tens of thousands of dollars or, spend your whole paycheck. Whatever you want to do, my friend.
I'll be doing that tomorrow. Because tomorrow she's got a day with her girls. So I've got Friday. She's got Saturday with her girls. I'm going to enjoy Saturday.
All right. How was your bracket looking? How was your first day of Fan Madness, March Madness? How's everything looking for your game right now?
Oh, it is not great. We are struggling over here.
I had Santa Clara this morning. There's no buzzer beaters yesterday. You get 2 in the first game back-to-back. Kentucky wins in overtime, so I lost that one. It's been fun. I don't know that I'm all in head first onto this thing, but it sounds like Danny Morang is cleaning up. He only missed 1 game, but here's the important thing that you need to remember. It was High Point, and I got it right. So, listen, he might think he's smart, but he's not as smart as me on at least one of the, 32 games in the first round. So I got to feel pretty good about that. The big stories that we had from yesterday, there's a whole lot of them. St. Louis gets a 30-point win over Georgia, outscored an SEC team. So the Billikens, wherever they're from in St. Louis, whatever conference they're a part of, outscored an SEC team 66-28 in the paint on the way to scoring 102 points yesterday. VCU gets a 19-point lead, eliminated for North Carolina, and knocks them out of the tournament. BYU, A.J. DeBonsta goes out and has a monster game, but it's not enough to beat Texas. The freshman kid, how do you say this one, Murkovic from Illinois, 29 points, 17 rebounds in the game. Michigan shot 67.3% against Howard yesterday. That's the highest shooting percentage in the tournament since 2016. Chase Johnston, the big hero, we talked about this for High Point, scored his first 2-point basket of the entire season. Just shoots 3-pointers. Goes out and gets a layup in the final minutes to beat Wisconsin for High Point. Duke barely survived Siena. That was wild. Nebraska gets their first ever tournament win. The madness has been absolutely fantastic. What's your favorite story from yesterday or even this morning, Casey, so far?
It's got to be the cat out of St. Louis.
Yeah.
He's got all the nicknames.
Yes, he does.
He can shoot threes. And again, St. Louis is a tough team, so I kind of like that story.
Okay, so we got to go through some of these nicknames. So for anybody that didn't watch St. Louis play, they got this kid named Robbie Avila. Robbie Avila is 6'10". He is a center for the team, and we already mentioned that they outscored Georgia at 66-28 in the paint. I'm looking at the box score for St. Louis. There was not a single 20-point scorer. You had, I think, 7 guys that were in double figures, a couple guys that had 9, full team effort. They played 10 deep. But this kid, Robbie Avila, so he is 6'10", very white guy wearing the goggles. Okay, so all of his photos, he's wearing glasses. He needs them to see. This is not cool eye protection goggles. These are Coke bottle goggles that he is wearing. Some of the nicknames, so he played before he went to St. Louis and became a Billiken, he was playing for Indiana State. So his Indiana State nickname that he brought over was Larry Nerd. He has been called LeBron Frames. He has been called Milk Chamberlain. And his favorite of all the nicknames, I don't know if that's all of them, but his favorite, he said, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So that gets both his position, it gets his paleness, and it gets his goggles all in one. Did you have any better nicknames than that, Casey? Because those are all pretty sweet.
There was a few. There was College Jokic.
College, okay, I get that. That one I saw, but I don't love that. That doesn't really draw me in nearly as much as some of the other ones. But what else you got?
And then there was Steph Blurry.
Steph Blurry is good if he was a shooter. You with me on that?
Well, he does hit threes.
Well, sure. But again, you can't be Jokic and Curry at the same time. Could you imagine what a combination of those two guys would actually look like?
Yikes.
Yeah, that would be something. You're one or the other. I don't think you can be compared to both of those guys.
And then this one was based off of his favorite music artist, as a rap artist by the name of Rod Wave. Call him Rob Wave.
Okay, who's Rod Wave? Do they look alike? Is this something that
they're both plus size people, I should say.
Plus size people. All right, that's fantastic. So yeah, I might be with you that is one of the best stories. The problem was I picked Georgia to win that game. Was I just way off on that? Because I know that several people were saying they took St. Louis. A couple people told me they picked Georgia. Was that just something I didn't do enough research on? Because here's the thing. We talked about this yesterday, Casey. You were giving me some effusive praise about how I set up my bracket. I was pretty hot early in the day. It got a little worse as the day went on yesterday. But I did my 2-hour prep on the entire bracket. I tried to cram what should have been an entire season of half paying attention to the college basketball season into about 2 hours of just cramming for the test. And what I did was I went, who can actually win this thing? Let's put those in the Final Four. Let's spatter those throughout the Elite Eight. And then I went, who are the teams that can actually have some upsets? And I found High Point, and I found a couple others that could possibly win those games. What I really did was I ignored the ones in the middle of the bracket, those 8-9 matchups. I didn't put a whole lot of time. I was like, Georgia, St. Louis, they're 8-9. They got to be pretty even. They were not. Is that just me being an idiot?
I did get some insider information. Danny Meringue did let me know that St. Louis has some dudes, and then I found out early on that they had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I should say. So I went with St. Louis.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, listen, I can't be perfect all the time. That wouldn't be any fun for the listeners. I do want to make a couple updates on what's going on down here. So we've got the whole Odyssey sales team down here. There's plenty of listeners. One that's really worth noting, I don't know if you remember this from a couple weeks ago, but we play our little Take Your Pick on Thursdays. One of our listeners that plays every week, Eric Olson, I don't know if you recall, he had to cancel his appearance on the show because he had a heart issue. Do you remember this, Casey?
I do remember. How's he doing?
He's not dead. He is here. He is in person. He came up, made sure that he introduced himself to me, and told me that he is very much alive. The handshake wasn't as firm as I would like. A little soft on the handshake, but he is very much alive and seems to be doing well. He said it was not a heart attack. He did get a personal call instead of an email follow-up from the doctor, so he was a little bit terrified. But he is doing well. So I thought that was a great update to have to start my day. What was that? Oh, I don't need tickets. People are trying to offer me their tickets. That's all right. I don't need to see it. I don't care. If you lose your ticket, I'll hang it back up here. What's that? We're just talking live on air, my friend. Okay. There you go. So we've got plenty of people down here having a great time. We're going to obviously have, the regular hour. We'll do our daily buzz in it, but I'm pretty excited. We're going to have Peyton Ruddy comedian's going to come down and join us. He's going to be at Helium this weekend. So I think he did a show last night, and he'll be here this weekend. So later on in the show, he's going to come down and join us. Not sure what his bracket situation is. Not sure what his sports fandom is, but I believe he started his comedy career in Chicago. So he's going to come down here and join us a little later in the show. Casey, you said that you've been a fan of his for quite a while.
Yeah, I saw his stuff at first on Instagram, and then I saw him on Kill Tony not too long ago.
Yep.
I've seen his stuff ever since, and he's been great.
Are you a regular viewer of I Kill Tony or Kill Tony? It's Kill Tony.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a regular viewer. Every once in a while, I'll turn it on, but I just listen to the basic comedy podcast.
Yeah. All right. Well, he's going to join us a little bit later as we kind of roll through the show. I'm sure people are going to pop by and say hi. We just had one listener try to show off his tickets so that we can do that. But I will warn anybody else, if you pop down, I don't care what you bet on. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm looking at this casino, and it is just like a dopamine extracting place. It is fantastic. If you want to come down and bet, I don't judge. Have a great time. One thing I will point out, I mentioned that I brought the kids down here yesterday, Casey. The funniest part of that is when you look at the little kids area that looks like a junior casino where you can go and build your own Slurpees. They've got the arcade set up. I'm not sure if the arcade looks more like a casino or the casino looks more like an arcade. But if you got kids, bring them on down. Come on down. The pool is fantastic. The setup in here is great, and the energy outside of Tom's Watch Bar is absolutely awesome. So come hang out. Primetime will be on after this, and then everybody's going to be hanging out tonight. It's a Friday night, first weekend of the tournament. Should be a ton of fun. We've got some more bracket stuff that we'll probably jump into next, some other stories from what's happened so far in March Madness. We'll do more of that next. You're listening to the bonus hour of Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan. All right, let's try to get you some updates here from what's going on in the bracket, because if you listen to this show on a regular basis, you know that we do very silly SportsCenter updates. So let me know if I've got all of these right, because I'm looking at a little funky website here. Virginia 82, Wright State 73. So the Cavaliers advance. Arizona 92, 58 over LIU. Did you have LIU winning that one, Casey?
No, I did not.
Texas Tech 91, Akron 71. My Akron upset not happening. We already talked about it earlier today. 89-84 in overtime. Kentucky gets the win over Santa Clara. I'm looking at the NCAA website. If I have my numbers correct, more than 850,000 brackets filled out. Right now, 5,000 perfect brackets remain. That is not that terrible of a number, because I'm going to give you another one right here. ESPN had more than 26 million brackets filled out. There are now 4,000 perfect brackets left. Does that say that the people that are going on to NCAA.com are more educated and a lot more people are filling out the ones on ESPN? I definitely think it does. But I also think ESPN gets a lot of people to do what you do, Casey, where you go out and you fill out 6 or 7 brackets every year. Fill out one for yourself, one for your mom, one for your sister, one for your girlfriend, and just keep filling them out. That's the only way that I can figure it, is everybody's trying to get this figure out and get their perfect brackets, but they are dwindling fast. The numbers just falling off. So if you were expecting to have a perfect bracket, this shows you just how quickly they fall apart. I'd love to know how close somebody has gotten. I can't imagine that many people make it through the first weekend with a perfect bracket. I was trying to find some information, but man, it is all over the place on this. What's the closest you've ever gotten to your best bracket that you can remember through the first round, Casey?
I think I'm sitting on it right now.
Are you really? What do you got? 1 game? 2 games?
It's not the one that I'm going head-to-head against you in.
Of course it's not, you and your 12 brackets.
But I'm up there with Danny Meringue, and I have a 98.1%.
98.1%. That is pretty dang good. I need to figure out how I can figure out where my bracket is at percentage-wise. 1 year I had a 1 loss through the first round. In the Sweet 16, I lost 3 of my 4 Final Four teams. So it did not go well from there on out. But I think a lot of it, too, is if you're hitting all of these, all of the upsets, you're getting everything right, I think it's usually people that are willing to take a little bit more risk in what they're doing and getting it. So when somebody like Danny, I mean, hey, give him credit. He missed 1 game so far, but the whole thing could fall apart real quick if you decided that you were smarter than the room and had to go with somebody that can go on and win the entire bracket. So it'll be fun to see what goes from there. Let me see if I can figure out.
I currently have 2 that I've only missed, and I missed BYU and Wisconsin.
BYU was an interesting one because you were a big DeBonsta guy, yeah?
Still am.
Well, I mean, hey, he played a hell of a game, and when you have the opposing coach come out and say, how are you going to stop him? And he goes, I don't think you can. What do you have, 35
Your
and 9?
Jerry McNamara story just sold me down the river.
There's a Jerry McNamara story from years ago. I think I told everybody that the only way Syracuse was going to win their first-round game was if Jerry McNamara scored 50 points, and I believe he got 47 in the game, and Syracuse advanced. But you get these ideas in your head, and it certainly happens that way where you go to pick these guys. So you've lost BYU, and which was the other one, High Point?
Yeah, High Point.
Well, I'll tell you, that's not the worst way to look at it. I'm trying to figure out where my bracket is. I filled it out in a couple different spots. So let me see if I can actually figure out. I think I used CBS Sports yesterday. I was trying to figure out who would give me a big prize if I won. I think I mentioned this yesterday. That you look at, your bracket and you go, you know what? I think I kind of like this. And then you talk yourself into going, well, what if it's really good? I better put it on to one of these ones that can give me a prize. So I will just spend the next 2 months just opting out of all of the things that I signed up for on the emails. But hey, that's the life when you're trying to win big money. Nothing is free, right? So let's get this going, see where we're at if CBS Sports can tell me. Logging in. So right now, my bracket is sitting at 80-something percentile. So, it's not good. It's not great. It makes me feel worse that I picked one of the favorites to go all the way. That's what always makes it a little bit challenging, is trying to figure out where the best bets are in this thing. So you said you're going to make it down here tomorrow and hang out. So if you guys want to come down and check out A at any point during this, Tom's Watch Bar, if you've never been here, Tom's Watch Bar sits right on a huge bank of TV screens, and you've got all of the viewing that you would need to watch the tournament. And then you got all the tables right behind it. So it's kind of a perfect setup. Ends up working out real great. Want to thank everybody that's come by already and said hello during this. I wanted to move into a couple NBA stories. Tell me this, Casey. Can you ever remember somebody on the road getting MVP chance?
I want to say no, I actually really can't.
Last night in Miami, an opposing player put up 60 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, and got MVP chance from the road crowd. It was not even a week ago that Bam Adebayo goes out and has an 83-point game, and within a week, I'm going to use air quotes on this, the Heat culture is drawing in another team and rooting for it. You know who that player was, young man?
That's Luka Doncic.
Luka, he is averaging 40.9 in the Lakers' last 8 games, which they have won all of, and he is getting the opposing team to cheer for it. I'm telling you, I don't feel good about this. I am not happy to say this, and I think I have already declared it. I don't know that I've made it this obvious. I think I'm rooting for the Lakers right now. I can't root for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Wembanyama is too big and too good. He is an absolute beast, and he hit a game winner last night, but he looks too – I can't root for the Spurs. Once upon a time when it was just the Admiral, I was a big Spurs fan when I was a kid. I just loved David Robinson. Tim Duncan came out and was so workmanlike. And the way that the Spurs won their championships with Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili and having all of those kind of unassuming championship teams. I mean, they won 5, never won back-to-back, never did with a whole lot of spirit or energy. It was just kind of workmanlike. I kind of lost my love for the Spurs as the years went on. They got Victor Wembanyama, and I thought, man, I am absolutely out. I'm over the Warriors, who aren't really in it this year. I think if I look at the Western Conference, I think I'm becoming a Lakers fan. Is that okay? Am I allowed to do that?
I think so.
Oh, I'm getting permission from Casey. Okay.
Knowing that our Portland Trailblazers don't have a real shot at a championship this year, yeah, I think it's all acceptable to have a team out of the West that you want to win.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the East, I know that you're big into the Pistons. I just don't think that they're ready to make that leap. I've never been a Celtics fan. The Knicks are pretty good. The Cleveland Cavaliers I can't do. I don't think anybody else.
Again, Charlotte. My 2 East teams, Detroit and Charlotte.
Charlotte is 36-34 in 10th place. In the years to come, maybe. I don't think they're ready to take that leap. I'm looking at the standings right now. There's no way that I can root for Cleveland, New York, Boston, and Detroit. I don't mind. I'll be honest. I'm kind of there. Right now, the Lakers are your 3 seed. I mean, the little run that they've won on. Now, granted, they're 7 games back of the Spurs. They're 10 games back of the Oklahoma City Thunder. You've got LeBron. You've got Luka. Austin Reeves seems to be a gamer. It feels like they've got something that they've got going on. Your 4, 5, 6 seeds right now are the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Houston Rockets, and the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Nuggets I can get a little bit behind. Houston with KD, absolutely not. Do you find the Minnesota Timberwolves likable? I love Ant Edwards' highlight reel. I don't like watching him play games. I don't know what it is.
I think I'm with you there. I don't think I like Minnesota altogether. I just like Ant Edwards.
Yeah, I think that's it. Well, but I don't like Ant Edwards in a full game. I love his highlight reel, which is very, very different than sitting down and watching a Minnesota Timberwolves game and going, I like all of the antics that goes on throughout the game. He's just such an athletic freak that it's so fun to watch. And honestly, it's mostly his defensive highlights. You put up a caption that says, check out this ant swat late in the game, I'm all in. I almost look at him like I look at baseball. There's something about baseball where if you go out and you're showing me a top 10 list and 9 out of 10 are home runs, you're doing it wrong. Home runs are great. They matter in the game. They're big moments in the game. They're not highlights.
Let me see the glove work.
That 100%, they are just not highlights. A guy swinging a bat, ball go far is neat, and it's a great moment in a game, but it's not unique. It's
Again,
not.
You caught it on the right part of the bat. What did Barry Bonds used to say?
Well, yeah. What is your quote?
Barry Bonds used to say, again, I wasn't the best hitter. I just learned how to catch the ball off the best part of the bat better than anyone.
Yeah, shut up. You were the best hitter, dude. I don't know what he's trying to say. He was intentionally walked more than anybody in the history of baseball. He was one of the most dangerous guys. And isn't that just the key to hitting? You and I played enough baseball to know when it hits that sweet spot, that feel where there's almost like a effortless feeling to the quality of the hit. If I could have figured out how to do that more, I'd still be playing baseball. Are you kidding me?
Again, he just happened to do it better than everyone else in existence.
Yes, but again, that makes you the best hitter. Now, the cream and the clear definitely helped out. Oh, I think I just came up with another nickname for our guy from St. Louis. The cream and the clear. Let's go. Does that work?
I'm all for that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to get more as we go on. I've got a handful of other things from the NBA. I've got a little NFL that I wanted to do. Do you still have that Max Crosby sound that we were going to listen to yesterday?
Yeah, I got it for you.
All right, let's do NBA now, and then depending on where we get to with that and some of the other NFL stories, maybe we'll do Max Crosby before we get out of this hour. Peyton Ruddy's going to join us here in the second hour when we get into our more regular happy hour. But we've got bonus hour today. We're live from A-Lene. Right now, we need to go and do a Sports Center update.
First on the Fan, the NCAA Women's Tournament is officially underway. And Luke, I want you to take this time to pick who you think will take home the championship in the Women's Tournament.
Well, right now there are 3 million perfect brackets in the women's tournament. I think it's a little bit easier to predict the early rounds of the tournament. I don't think they've played as many games. Do I have that correct? I can't say with 100% certainty. Let me think. Who's good in women's college basketball? There's South Carolina. There's UConn. Is LSU good this year?
They are second. That's who I have as the pick. I'm riding with Flau'jae Johnson and Malaysia Fulwiley. So if you want to fade me, Texas did beat LSU in the SEC championship.
I'm going to say UConn. Is that a good pick?
I think that's a great one.
Can't go wrong with there. We're going to go with UConn. Go with what you know. I can't give you any players. Sorry.
And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Your home for the Oregon Ducks.
Depending on where the schedules are in the association, you're looking at about a dozen games left. I've told you guys many times, if you listen to the show on a regular basis, that for me, one of the best tournaments in sports is the NBA playoffs. I have always been a fan of it. You get to the NBA finals. There is some wear and tear on these guys. There are games that are not great. There are 20-point blowouts followed by 20-point blowouts in the opposite direction. But if you can get down to a Game 7 or a deciding game in the NBA, I will take that over any of these one-and-done games in the college basketball tournament, as wonderful as they are. But half the reason that it's so fun to sit here and watch this tournament is because we've got 6 games going at any one time. The first couple days end up being such a riot because you can flip back and forth and look back and forth between all these screens out at A-Lene and just see what we got going on. But before we jump into a little bit more of the association, I want to thank everybody that made this live broadcast possible. So big shout out to our friends at A-Lene, Window Nation, George McCoy at Warren Allen, Attorneys at Law, Cricket Wireless, and Video Only. Today's going to be the last day. It's only been a couple days, but it feels like it's already been flying by. Prime time will be on after we're done with our 2 hours of happy hour, and then we'll kind of wrap things up. But if you want to come down and hang out, I'm sure the fan will be going into the evening, and you can come out, grab a beer, buy a beer with your favorite fan hosts. Also worth noting, if you win big, our friends from Mountaintop Metal Roofing dropped off some tote bags so you can fill it up with all the cash winnings that you have. So come by and snag one of those. We talked about Luka getting chance because the Lakers are a bit on a hot streak. The team not on a hot streak, the Indiana Pacers, have lost another player for the season. When you see a team at this point in the season that has less than 20 wins and they claim a guy out, they're saying that Zubac he got his ribs broken by the Portland Trail Blazers. So now you have another Pacer that is out for the rest of the season. Boy, we need to figure out what to do with these bottom teams in the NBA. But the biggest one is a team that is really struggling right now. Did you see the headline for what the owner said about Giannis Antetokounmpo?
I saw it briefly.
Okay, so we talked about this yesterday. The Bucks would like to shut down Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis would like to keep playing basketball. Well, today, Wes Endens, the co-owner of the Bucks, has come out and said that the superstar will either be signed or traded this offseason. So you have a public spat between team and player, and now you have an ultimatum. This feels very much like a team that was on the rise just a couple years ago. What was it, 2020 that they win the championship? Was that 21?
I believe it was 20.
20 or 20. Okay, so they win a champion not that long ago. You have a multiple-time MVP and somebody that can be in the conversation every single year. 2021, see? I knew it. So 2021, they win the championship. You win back-to-back MVPs for Giannis. He looks like he is going to get the team to the finals or near the finals every single year. A couple years of injuries. You go out and you try to make some moves. Let's change it up. Let's get rid of Drew Holiday. Let's go bring in another scorer so he doesn't have to carry the burden so much on offense. You go out and get Damian Lillard. That worked. Well, that didn't work at all. I was going to say something else, but I don't think I can say that based on the FCC guidelines that we are operated under. But absolute disaster with that. The team is only getting worse. And now you're at a point where 5 years removed from a title, we have an ultimatum. It is, if you don't sign with us long-term, we are definitely trading you this offseason. So if you're one of those Blazers fans that think if your team doesn't have a chance at the championship, then you don't have a chance at anything, you can jump in with the Milwaukee Bucks fans that are already looking at the offseason. There's going to be a lot more worry in Milwaukee. Where he ends up, nobody knows. I'm not pretending that I think it's going to be Portland. But let's look around the league and figure out who has a lot of assets to trade. You know what really scares me is OKC is one of those teams that still has a whole pile of assets. If you had to make an early prediction, Casey, where do you see Giannis ending up? Does he stay with the Bucks? Does he end up elsewhere?
I think he ends up in the West. I think the West just becomes so
I do not
dominant.
like that. I
where-
do not like that.
Again, because now you're going to have LeBron and Luka,
yeah.
have OKC, you have Wembanyama and Stephon Castle. Bring them to Portland. Let Damian Lillard and Giannis run it back and see if the GM in Milwaukee had it right originally, but just couldn't bring it to fruition.
You know what I'd be really interested to see? You know who's one of these teams pretty famous for making big splash moves that hasn't done anything in a little while? Miami is one that always jumps into my head. I know that they were part of the conversation around Dame when he left, and that was his preferred destination. I don't know what the contract situation is with Giannis, whether or not he has any influence on where he goes. I don't think he has a no-trade clause. So if you look at it, and if he is going to go anywhere in the East, Miami and New York are the two ones that seem like they could go out and at least put in something that would be of interest coming back. So those are the two that I think could be really, really interesting.
Honestly, it's Giannis. Anywhere that he goes, he's going to be dominant. He's going to make that team far better than they were this year. If he goes to join a team to, LeBron or KD it and join a big three, look out.
Well, here's the other one that scares me. So we talked about it already. The Lakers on a little bit of a hot streak. They already have Luka. They seem to be gifted players like no other organization in the history of sport, let alone basketball. They end up with guys that just show up there like no other, and the league seems to just look the other way every time it seems to happen. So that's the one that I really do not want to see. Speaking of the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron ties Robert Parrish for the most regular season games played, 1,611th game. This record obviously been around for a long time. Trivia question: do you know where? Well, I guess that's not fair. I have my information a little backwards here. Did you hear what Coach Redick said about this and just how important this is for the Lakers and what they've got going?
I didn't see the direct quote, but I saw, again, JJ Redick just believing what everyone else believes, and that LeBron is just better than.
So what he talked about was just his importance to this team. I mean, JJ Redick, a first-time head coach, goes out there, and if this team's going to make a run, I mean, he's not a player coach, but the way that he goes, he just says he thinks he understands the importance of his position, and that's part of the longevity thing, right? We watched Vince Carter go and play for a really long time, and there was not a guy that was more high-flying, more dynamic, more compelling to watch from just an athleticism standpoint, and figured out what his role was as he got older. I remember my favorite quote of old Vince Carter. Somebody asked him if he could still jump like he used to. He said, yeah, but I just can't land like I used to, referencing how much it hurts to fall from a story and a half out of a building like he would when he jumped. But if LeBron decides that he's going to go and carve out a new role for himself, he's not the best player on his team anymore. This is the first time that's been the case in his career, and they're certainly figuring something out as they moved a little bit later in the season. So that one is a little bit wild. The other story that I kind of alluded to a little bit, it scares me that Victor Wembanyama cares this much. I know we talked about it with the All-Star game and how much he brought out the best in everybody that they played. They put him on Team World, and he goes out and puts in the full effort. They're right now the second seed in the West. Last night they clinched their playoff spot, so they are in the postseason. They did it on a game winner against the Suns from Wembanyama. But did you actually watch the highlight of that?
No, I didn't catch it.
Pull it up and just look how much this 22-year-old 7'4" absolute unicorn monster freak of nature, whatever you want to call him. He's got that look in his eye of somebody that loves the game, loves the competition, and feels very driven to win. I don't know if he's figured out exactly how good he can be in the NBA. We see flashes. We've seen 30-point quarters. We've seen plenty of high-scoring games. You've seen blocks where he's had games where he's had 6 and 7 blocks. I don't think he has any idea how good he can be. I don't think the league has any idea how good he can be. But right now, that guy seems to have all of the drive that you would want a superstar in this league to have. I said it early on, you never know if somebody like this is going to stay healthy. You never know how much they're going to care. Still don't know about the health thing. He had that blood clot last year that was really scary. How much time has he missed this year? It doesn't feel like he's missed hardly any games. He hasn't played, big minutes in every game. They've been smart enough to know that if they've got a lead and they don't need him late in a game, you pull him out. And it makes it really interesting to see what the future of Victor Wembanyama is going to be, looking at the way that he plays just right now, being so young. And the other thing that really makes it scary is San Antonio's put a great team around him.
Yeah, they've got a great roster. I mean, I'm looking at this shot right now.
Yeah.
This looks like young Kevin Durant. Like,
Except
OKC,
for 6 inches taller.
Except for 6 inches taller, which is so much scarier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's elegant. I mean, the balance. I mean,
And
he's
then
just so dominant.
And then do you see the little post-game celebration? That's the one where, he just looks like he has the potential to be a killer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the league better watch out because this dude's taking over, and when he is healthy, he's going to scare everyone.
Yeah, trying to figure out what the answers are to stopping that guy is going to be a wild one. I mentioned that I don't know that the Pistons are necessarily ready to take that step. This is a young Spurs team, and I believe this is the first time we're going to see postseason Victor Wembanyama. So this makes it really intriguing to see what they go, and they step it up. The NBA seems to have this learning curve where teams get there and they get close. Then they get there and they get to the finals. Then they get back and they finally win it. And then once you get to the top, you can see a little run of supremacy in this league. It's not something that is completely foreign to the NBA where you get somebody at the top, stay at the top for a long time. I mean, we see it all the time. And if the Spurs get up there, it's going to be really difficult. So the NBA better get ready to figure out what they're going to do with this guy because he is a problem. And I kind of love it. All right, let's move on. I know that you've been itching to talk about this all week. You want to talk about the saga that was Max Crosby. We have his comments. We'll listen to those before we get into our normal flow of happy hour. Little off-season hot stove talk for the NFL. We do it next. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan. Love being out here doing live shows. Just talked to the great Matt Zarzana, greatest bowling effort I've ever seen in person. Watch the guy bowl a 289. He had just graduated from the Clark College Penguins bowling seminar. Everybody I know got better at bowling from there. He said he did bowl a 295, so I didn't even get to watch his best effort. But if you're out here coming out to A. swing by, say hello. Would love to see everybody catch up if it's been a while. A couple guys from high school have swung by already today. Let's try to get a little scoreboard update. Casey, do you have all the scores up for everything that's happening in the tournament right now, my friend?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, it sounds like I just found out, and this is my brother came out to say hi. I didn't realize they were doing this, but apparently if Alabama beats Hofstra, everybody gets a quarter pound of weed. So that'll be fantastic for anybody that picked Alabama. You're going to get a little something, something. So despite missing one of their best player who's going to end up in federal prison probably, they are taking care of Hofstra. So far, 14 minutes left in the second half. What score do you have that you're paying close attention to, Casey?
Well, Wright State, they lost a close one. They nearly had the upset alert going, but Virginia pulled away. The final on that one was 82-73.
Virginia has had some shaky performances in the tournament history, so we know that that's a tricky one. Iowa State, close one with Tennessee State. They're only up 82-47 with 11 minutes left. 55-29 in the first half.
And our boys from Miami of Ohio are in a close one.
Yeah, where they got go? Oh, right.
Tied at 13 apiece between Tennessee.
Do you have them winning their first round game?
No, I do not.
Okay. You were excited about them yesterday. Utah State with a narrow lead, 6:38 left in the first. They're up 31-27 over Villanova. Do we have any other games go final recently? I don't think so. Well, yeah.
Arizona.
We talked about that already. So trying to keep you guys caught up on your brackets. We haven't had a chance to get this topic all week, but it's a very interesting story, and it just kind of makes you wonder what's going on with a franchise that I thought we were pretty convinced was one of the good ones. It's very weird. So Max Crosby, everybody knows,
who was convinced.
Did you not? Shut up, Steelers fan. I think everybody thought with John Harbaugh and what you had going on for years, people would call out the Baltimore Ravens as one of those franchises that seemed to have everything together. It's where people wanted to go and play. You had guys go there and revive careers that felt like they might not do it. Kyle Van Noy, they took Kyle Hamilton and turned him into a superstar. He was a guy that was drafted without a position. Lamar Jackson has multiple MVPs. Derrick Henry comes back there by choice to kind of revive his career. I know that you're a Steelers fan. For 1 second, take off your jacket and your Steelers underoos and tell me that you didn't think that they had something going on that was working in Baltimore.
As I take off my black and yellow Yankees hat.
Yeah.
You can't deny that they were competing for an AFC championship for 5 years straight.
Yeah, listen,
but there was something that had to
there was something going wrong when they got to the postseason, but they were always in the postseason. They obviously made the change at head coach. They went out and tried to make a big swing and get Max Crosby. The trade falls through because of the physical. Then they immediately signed Trey Hendrickson. So a lot of people thought that there might be something odd going on behind the scenes, that not only did the trade get nixed, but almost immediately they went and found another guy out of the division and got him signed to a big long-term extension and got that all worked out almost immediately. We haven't listened to it on this show yet, so let's take a listen to what Max Crosby's perspective of everything that happened in the failed trade when he went and visited the facility.
Had my MRIs, I was asking Joe, can I, before I left, I wanted to see the head coach and just chop it up, talk football, talk ball. He's a defensive guy, never met him before like that, so I wanted to chop it up. So I didn't get to meet with him till the end of the day. I didn't get to see the GM at all. I thought I was going to see him when I first got there. I didn't see him for 5 hours.
So he didn't come out the whole time you're testing or doing your physical. Everyone's talking about
never.
The GM never came once out to see you.
And I don't know why. I'm not going to speculate. I didn't see him one time. I even asked the girl. I was like, "Where's Eric at?" Like, I want to say, like, you know what I mean? Like, he just made the trade. Like, I didn't see him for 5 hours. So I go and do my thing. At the end, they're like, "Yeah, I'll take you up." Joe was like, "I'll take you up and you go see the head coach, whatever, just before you leave." I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "That's what I want to say what's up to him." So I went back up and I dap him up, and they could just tell like the energy was a little bit off. And the GM was standing in like the hall, like in the room next to me to the right. First time I seen him. And I'm just in my head, like this is a whirlwind. Like I'm so excited, like fired up, you know what I mean? Like this is a new opportunity, whatever. And you could just tell the energy was off. Like I dapped him up, he had like a blank face. And I'm like, okay. I'm not thinking anything of it. Maybe he's just different. I don't know him, whatever. Yeah. I go into the room, they sit me down on the couch, and he's like, "Man, I don't know how to say this, but one of our doctors has concerns with the results and whatever, and like with your knee, like some of them have, are concerned about the future and da-da-da-da-da. And, we really want you and this is what it is, but, we're just going to have to get more and more opinions."
That is a wild thing, considering that in just a couple minutes after that, Trey Hendrickson, it felt like he was a Raven that quick. The question I always have, and I know you were immediately ready to poo-poo the Ravens because you dislike them, but there is these reputations that these teams get, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time to ruin them. Free agency is odd. Now we're at that period where there's some guys still floating out there that have some names about them, but you see certain teams become appealing, and you have a guy that is trying to either revive their career or wrap up their career, and those guys can be the difference between winning and losing in this league. And I don't know if Max Crosby got that kind of treatment because they knew that his knee wasn't what it was supposed to be. Max Crosby was reportedly out playing basketball. He had just had surgery, so some people speculate that, everything went absolutely fantastic. If you get the MRI or whatever physical, information that you get going, dude, this guy shouldn't be playing basketball, and it scares you off, or you just don't like that he's going out that quickly after, it doesn't seem like somebody that's taking it seriously. Whatever it is, we haven't heard anything from the Ravens. We haven't heard one single thing, and it can be really tricky. And good for you as a Steelers fan if they fall off the map. I mean, unfortunately, you have Mike McCarthy, and you won't be able to take advantage of it.
Wow.
But you also have the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns in your division, so somebody has to take advantage of it, so you do have your best opportunity. But this is a weird one, man. What's your take on this?
We said it about the Steelers many times. The quickest indictments in the NFL are first your quarterback, then it's going to be your head coach, then it's going to be your owner or your GM. Baltimore's just going through the list right now. They started by indicting Lamar. Is Lamar the quarterback that we want? Again, he is the quarterback that you want because when he's out there, he's pretty much unbeatable in open space.
Yep.
Then you fire Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that indictment's gone. No longer a scapegoat there. Ravens are just looking at this from the outside in going, all right, what are we doing? Who do we indict now?
Yeah, well, everybody's praised the hire of Jesse Minter, but if there is some dysfunction within the organization, I don't care how good of a head coach you are, it's going to be hard to overcome that. He's also a first-time head coach, which you never know how the additional responsibilities are going to be taken, how the leadership part of it is. You can know football as well as you want, but we talked about this a lot yesterday with coaching and really trying to figure out how to lead guys. Jesse Minter, I don't remember him as a player. I don't think he ever played. I don't know much about the guy. But if you don't go in with a reputation of being anything besides X's and O's, that doesn't always translate to immediate success. One just final question. While we're on the AFC North, I'm trying to remember. Can you remember, Casey, who had the worst facilities in the NFL and did the worst on the postseason player test? Can you remember that survey?
That would be my Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Congratulations to you, young man. This should be an absolute dumpster fire of a division, and I can't wait to watch it. We'll see who ends up winning it by default. I mean, just a matter of
wins out of the division.
Just a matter of months ago, it felt like it was one of the best in the league, and now here it is looking like it's probably going to be the worst. I mean, I might put a ticket on Shedeur Sanders and the Browns to win that division right now.
If the way that things division are going has, I'll make a claim right now while you sit in the sports book.
All right.
If that division has less than 32 wins, I'll buy you lunch.
32 wins. All right. I'll take that bet.
I'll buy you lunch.
All right. It's a lunch bet. 32 wins for the entire division combined. I didn't even do the math in my head. I think they will be worse than you expect them to be.
I've got 10 wins from the Steelers, 10 wins from Baltimore, 6 from Cleveland, 6 from Cincy.
We haven't gone to 19 games yet, have we?
No, we have not.
I think I'm okay with that. I feel pretty confident. 32 wins. Write it down somewhere so you don't forget.
I've got it.
Hey, we'll get into our regular happy hour format. At some point, I expect to see Peyton Ruddy swing by, talk a little stand-up comedy with him. He's going to be at Helium this weekend. Yeah, we'll say goodbye for now and be right back at A outside of Tom's Watch Bar. Come down and say hello to us and swing by to see Primetime. Follow us. You're listening to 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network.
Isaac and Sue.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, day 2 of the NCAA men's tournament is officially underway. The day started off with Santa Clara falling in a close one to 7-seed Kentucky as that game went to overtime. Final on that one was 89-84 as Kentucky pulled away in the final moments. 12-seed Akron tipped off against 5-seed Texas Tech at 9:40 this morning. That game went final earlier today as Texas Tech picked up the win 91-71. 1-seed Arizona made quick work of the Long Island Sharks as they picked up their first win of the tourney, 92-58. Wright State fell to 3-seed Virginia. Final on that one was 82-73 as the Cavaliers rallied for the second half comeback. 2-seed Iowa State is taking on the Tennessee State Tigers. Score on that one is 90-55 as Iowa State is running away with it. And wrapping up our morning slate of games, Alabama is facing off against 13-seed Hofstra as Alabama leads 64-55. The NCAA Women's Tournament is officially underway. Your Oregon Ducks got their first win of the tourney, beating the Virginia Tech Hokies. Final in that one was 70-60 as your Ducks picked up the win. Finally, your Portland Trailblazers are on the road tonight taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves at 5 p.m. Minnesota will be without Anthony Edwards, but it's the Blazers coming into the contest as 2.5-point underdogs. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Live from A Casino Resort in Richfield.
Hey, happy madness, everybody. Thanks for dropping in on our little happy hour. If you missed the bonus hour, go back and listen to the podcast. It'll be available at 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app. We appreciate you listening. If you're watching on YouTube, here's a hand gesture just for you. You're welcome. If you're on the YouTube, use the chat. If you're listening on the radio, 105.1 FM, 1080 AM, on 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, or if you just ask your smart speaker to play somebody that has a worse bracket than you do, then use the fan text line, 503-2GO-FAN. That's 503-864-6326. Use it to chat, use it to share your thoughts, ask questions, solicit advice, or answer me this, dear listeners. Did anybody make it out to the games in Portland yesterday? Casey, you said you lost 2 games already. Weren't both of those played in Portland?
Yeah, I lost the hometown games.
Yeah, BYU losing, High Point winning. Those were both at Moda Center. Portland did not treat you very kindly.
Seriously, give me a break.
Have you ever been to a madness game, a bracket game, a tournament game in your life, young man?
That I have not. It's on the bucket list, though.
I talked to my brother. He went to a game years ago in L.A., and he said just watching the guys, that would end up becoming stars is one of the really cool things about it, the energy. I don't know if you need to have a school to enjoy that environment. I've been to a couple preseason college basketball tournaments, a ton of fun. I can still remember watching the Jamal Murray in the Nike Hoop Summit, which certainly doesn't have any of the juice, but just seeing the potential in some of these guys. One of my favorite things about the tournament is you see a lot of guys that are going to go on and be great, and that's pretty obvious, right? But there's a lot of guys that are great basketball players that do not have a future beyond this tournament. It's final games for guys going out and making their presence felt, and then moving on to becoming the best guy at the 24-hour fitness for the rest of their lives. And it's fun to see these guys that get these moments that don't have the typical NBA body, don't have the typical basketball game that's going to translate to the next level. So just looking up and seeing who some of the stars are on the teams that are way down the rankings is a ton of fun for me. But I'd love to know if anybody made it out to Moda Center. I mean, I imagine, the sports fandom in this city is always pretty good. But I'd be curious how many came in to Portland to see their team, some of the people traveling, whether it's BYU or Wisconsin or whoever. Because I don't know if that's something that you would do if your team, so you're an Oregon State guy, right, Casey?
Yes, sir.
So if they made the tournament, it's on your bucket list. Are you traveling for the tournament? Or are you just going, hey, next time it's in Portland, maybe I'll grab tickets?
Next time it's in Portland, maybe I'll grab tickets.
Gotcha. Final Four, do you think that'd be more or less fun than the first round? Because I think the first round might be more entertaining.
I think the first round is definitely more entertaining because you're getting all of people's brackets coming out. People are making their verbose predictions.
Yeah.
But you all the first round.
I'd be curious if we looked at this and broke down where all these games were played. And you went out and said, all right, how many of the best games were played in a certain region? Is there a arena that got all the duds? Is there somebody that got, St. Louis winning by 100 or winning by 30, scoring 100 points, and absolutely embarrassing Georgia? I guess even at that point, that game is great because there's going to be a bunch of Georgia fans there that they're like, hey, they're coming, close enough to me that I can go out and see it. And seeing Bulldog fans actually look like Bulldogs is probably a pretty good experience. So maybe even that's great.
It's
Maybe
gotta
I've
be
talked
fun.
myself back into it.
I know that yesterday I saw the clip from, if you didn't see it, the student radio broadcast for High Point when they made the call over the Wisconsin upset.
Oh, yeah?
That crowd looked like a sea of purple, and I would have loved to just be a part of that.
And so what you're saying is this was a broadcast from the school's arena for people that didn't travel out to Portland to see it.
Yeah, this was the High Point student radio broadcast.
Nice. Well, but they were. Where were they broadcasting from? Do you know?
They're inside the arena. They're courtside.
They're in Portland. So you thought that a lot of High Point people were there.
Yeah.
I guess that's the other thing that I don't know too. I mean, if you are a small school, because that was their first ever tournament win. I don't know how many tournament appearances they have. So I guess if you're the small school and you're only going to go once every couple decades, it's like, why not get out there and support your school? Who knows what's going to happen? And then you get something like that.
They have appeared twice in the NCAA tourney, most recently this year.
Well,
When was the
really?
last time?
What was this the most recent year, Casey? Thank you for the expert reporting. Let's get you signed up on some sideline reporting for the games.
I'm looking.
No, you're good. You're good. While you do that, I just want to say a big thanks to everybody at A&A that's got us set up out here. This is fantastic. We're right outside Tom's Watch Bar, so if you want to come and check it out, big thanks to our sponsors, Window Nation, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Cricket Wireless, and Video Only. Primetime's going to wrap up our time here, but there'll be plenty of time to hang out with some of the fan personalities after. I'm sure those guys will hang out for a little bit and watch some games. So come on down to Tom's Watch Bar if you haven't. And then we've even got tote bags. If you win big, you can take the money home in one of these mountaintop tote bags. I'm told there's a pen in there as well. So you can write a thank you letter to whatever school won you your parlay that nobody thought you could win, including the casino. Did you figure it out, young man?
Still searching.
All right. Well,
it's way back.
I'm guessing it's been a while. I'm sure that the Wikipedia page for High Point basketball is about as long as any. What a storied program they have. Wanted to ask you a question. We were talking a little bit about free agency, obviously, with the Max Crosby stuff. And I'm starting to kind of go a little sideways on the thought around what John Schneider said. I think this was late yesterday. So we talked about how I'm very intrigued to see what happens. Within the division, the 49ers go out and they make a bunch of splash moves. They add Mike Evans. They add strength to their defense, to their offense. They add weapons. They add all of this. Mina Kimes came out and said that she thinks the 49ers have had the best offseason of anybody. And Mina Kimes is pretty famous for being a Seattle honk. So looking at that always makes you worry a little bit. I think most people, including your Super Bowl odds, have said the Los Angeles Rams have had the best offseason. But I kind of like what Seattle's doing. They're signing all of their guys that are special teamers that can play an integral role in multiple phases of the game. They did lose Jake Bobo today. He is going to be a Jaguar, and I know that's going to be difficult for some, but they've done a really good job keeping a lot of guys in the middle of their roster, guys that are contributors in multiple phases of the game. I really like that. But John Schneider went out and said something. He said, regarding the running back position, their running back room right now is Emmanuel Wilson. You have George Holani. You will have Zach Charbonnet at some point during the season. But there's no denying that they lost a home run hitter. In the last 4 seasons, the running backs with the most 20-yard explosive plays, Kenneth Walker III, despite being injured for chunks of that time, 4th in the NFL. That's pretty good. What John Schneider said was he said that that's a position that you can find guys. Now, I know there's some truth to that, and you have the 32nd overall pick, and whether or not there's somebody in the draft that he's already got his eye on and wants to kind of throw it off. I still look around this league and see guys that are the man, that have been the man, that were the man coming up. Run CMC, Christian McCaffrey in San Francisco is a guy that does a little bit of everything and makes the 49ers very dangerous. Derrick Henry, after years and years of rushing, can still go out and win his team a game. Sometimes it feels like by himself. Saquon Barkley, just a year and a half ago, won his team a Super Bowl. I'm looking at this and I'm wondering, who are the guys that were just found? Brock Purdy is Mr. Irrelevant, and there's some guys that drop and are running backs and are good, but are they home run hitters? Casey, where do you sit on this? Because right now I still trust what I'm seeing with the Seahawks and what they just won the Super Bowl. Who am I to say that you're doing it the wrong way? John Schneider, the first GM ever to win 2 Super Bowls as GM without a single player or a single coach from the first Super Bowl to come back and win a second. So
what's the hardest thing to do after winning a Super Bowl?
Winning another Super Bowl.
Going back and repeating
back to back, and you hear this from guys that have done it. They said it was way harder to win the second than it was the first. You can sneak up on people. This was a year where there was not a great team. I'm not pretending that Seattle was the best start to finish in that season, or that I believe they were going to win it the whole time. You just got to weeks 15, 16, 17, and I was like, all right, who's the best team? It could be Seattle. It's the kind of year that it was. Now you got a big target on your back, and you can see what the other teams that are in your division did in free agency. You're doing something completely different. So I'm very curious what ends up happening. But right now, I'm a little bit wavering on we can just go out and find a back. I don't think they're just sitting around.
With running backs, that's the one position where I do have to agree, you can just go out and get a guy.
Yeah.
Famously, my team struggled with the Le'Veon Bell situation.
Yeah.
And what happened with that?
Yeah, but what happened since then?
We've had 4 1,000-yard rushing seasons.
But I don't think a 1,000-yard back is one of those different makers. I think it's really those home run hitters. Not all 1,000-yard seasons are created the same.
100%.
And Kenneth Walker was one of those guys that at any moment could break a tackle or 2 and is gone for 60 yards. And sometimes that gets called back, but despite that, it ends up being one of those things that makes a big impact on your team, is having that home run hitter. Not just a 1,000-yard back, but an 80-yard run back is a big difference. Guys that don't get caught from behind.
And again, we went down the list. There's only about 5 or 6 guys who are these bell cow backs. I'm going to trust him on third down. I'm going to trust him with my offense type guys. Is Kenneth Walker one of those guys? We won't know until this year and the years following, because running back years and the average length of their careers, the big drop-off is after that second contract.
Everybody looks better with a good offensive line, so I'd much rather have that be the starting point. Like I said, I'm not giving up on the strategy, but it's making me worry just a little bit. But we'll watch and see. You have a very different look at it. Both the 49ers and the Rams go out and make big moves. The Seattle is staying pat with their guys and their philosophy, so it should be fun to watch. Right now, let's do some In Case You Missed It. In case you missed it, a Padres fan made an incredible one-handed catch on a foul ball while holding a sleeping 10-week-old baby in his other arm. Baby Rocky has obviously no idea that he's getting in 15 minutes of fame, but when he watches the video in 10 years, he'll definitely have proof that his dad loved him way more than his twin brother, who got dropped in favor of a spring training souvenir. So This was my immediate thought. I spent a whole lot of months holding 2 babies at the same time. Hopefully there wasn't another one there. In case you missed it, Giants linebacker Abdul Carter is officially switching his jersey number to number 3. This comes after a rookie season where he begged Lawrence Taylor for number 56 and Phil Simms for number 11, only to be told no by both. So after failing to get the numbers that he actually wanted from the legends, Carter is taking Russell Wilson's number 3. Wait. The Giants aren't retiring Russell Wilson's number? That's Mr. Unlimited. What? 58% completion percentage and a grade 2 hamstring tear doesn't get you in the Ring of Honor? Who knew? Speaking of number changes, linebacker Mack Wilson is boldly claiming the number 1 jersey from the Arizona Cardinals after they released longtime quarterback Kyler Murray. This is going to be Wilson's 5th different number in 7 years in the NFL. Yikes. I hope he's not changing numbers for the same reason Kobe did. Ooh, that would be... Don't want to look into his past. That would be bad. In case you missed it, the Los Angeles Angels marquee offseason acquisition pitcher Grayson Rodriguez might start the season on the injured list. But don't worry, Angels fans. You might have the longest active playoff drought in baseball, but Rodriguez, just because he missed the entire 2025 season for an elbow surgery, I think you're pretty safe with the diagnosis of dead arm. Don't worry about that at all. That's not something you need to worry about it. Sad one, in case you missed it, legendary actor and martial artist Chuck Norris has passed away at 86 years old. This comes after a sparring session in Hawaii. Norris suffered a fatal medical emergency. Think about it, 86-year-old people are mostly sparring with the Velcro waistline on their Depends, but Chuck Norris is out there going rounds with his trainer. That's pretty good. If there is good news, it's that he passed away peacefully, surrounded by his family. If there's bad news, it's that Chuck Norris is the new Grim Reaper. So if you see a hooded figure approaching that tries to roundhouse kick your soul out of your body, just know you had a good run, man. Hey, you had a good run. That's all you can do. In case you missed it, Dennis Rodman is being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. It took him 5 NBA championships to get to the Basketball Hall of Fame, but only 4 pro wrestling matches to get into this Hall of Fame. That's my kind of Hall of Fame. You're famous. You're famous. You helped our product. Here's a trophy. I love that. But don't worry, baseball. There's actually a very hard-line stance on performance-enhancing drugs in this Hall of Fame. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that. Wrestling has a very mainline stance on performance-enhancing drugs. You need to mainline all the drugs. I read that wrong. I'm sorry. Dennis Rodman is slated to be inducted into the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame. Rodman joins fellow athletes like Pete Rose, Mike Tyson, and William the Refrigerator Perry, and fellow North Korea supporters Donald Trump and Drew Carey. Wait, Drew Carey? I'm not sure if Drew Carey supports North Korea, but he is in the WWE Hall of Fame. He is inducted for doing a comedy bit at the 2001 WrestleMania. I didn't have him as pegged as a wrestler, but let's be honest, I don't think anybody does. I'm pretty sure Bob Barker's corpse could kick his ass. Dennis Rodman famously skipped a Chicago Bulls NBA Finals practice to appear at the WCW Monday Nitro with Hulk Hogan. So the good news here is there's a good lesson for the kids. Hard work, dedication, and commitment to your team is for chumps. So be more like Dennis Rodman. You can get into multiple Hall of Fames. Big thanks to our studio audience. We are going to have, hopefully, Peyton Ruddy at 2:30. He's supposed to be down here at the casino with us. Talk a little comedy. He's going to be at Helium tonight and tomorrow night. But right now, we need to do the Daily Buzz. We've got some notes on the Seattle Mariners, and we'll bounce around elsewhere around the league to see what's going on in Major League Baseball. That is next. You're listening to Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan is live on host, Luke Anderson.
All right, kids, welcome back into A-Lene. We've got the live show. People saying some really mean things about Hofstra right now, and I don't need to hear it. I know I picked them. I know I was wrong. I get it. Alabama, the better team, despite, federally indicted criminals on their team. It is what it is, but we'll dive into the Daily Buzz. Let's talk about your Vetter Cup champion Seattle Mariners, shall we? They have decided on their opening day starter. No, it is not the guy that finished 5th in the Cy Young voting last year. Logan Gilbert will be on the mound. His alter ego, Walter, starting off the season against the Guardians. You know that we're less than a week away from opening day, Casey. How pumped are you for baseball to get oh, never mind. You're a Yankees fan. They're just going to disappoint you the whole season. Is that right?
I'm going to be happy in October.
Why is
then
that?
Mid-October, when the playoffs are done, then I'm going to be angry. But
when the playoffs end early for the Yankees, it's going to be a happy day. Then you don't have to watch Aaron Judge disappoint you anymore.
Yep, pretty much. That first week of October is some peace, but that second week, that's pure turmoil.
I will tell you the preview of what Aaron Judge will be doing in the postseason in the WBC for everybody that was, mostly rooting for the U.S. to win, but rooting against the Yankees despite him being on our team. I got everything they needed from that, so I will thank you for that. I am ecstatic for the start of the season. Still no word on whether or not you'll get an IR stint for J.P. Crawford. No word on whether or not Bryce Miller will be ready to go for the season, but I would expect that you'll probably have Leo Rivas as your opening day shortstop, and I would guess that in the rotation will be Emerson Hancock. But time will tell on that. Speaking of your boy, let's get some sounder there.
The Buzz.
Oh, that feels better. I don't have my button, so I can't push them. Looking at the memorabilia market, apparently a dual MVP gold logo man card with Judge and Shohei Ohtani just sold at auction for $2.16 million. Now, I have had a conversation with a couple people that are very much into the memorabilia stuff. I talked to somebody that works in the memorabilia market. There was a stretch in the mid-'90s when I was, rooting for maybe the best Mariners team until this one. And what had happened with all of these trading cards was they realized that so many people love collecting these, finding rare cards, that they did it. So they produced way more cards thinking that they would sell a lot more cards, and they did. Everybody bought them to the point where they devalued all of these cards. Well, now the trading card companies have figured out that, hey, if we make all of these rare cards, then we can actually sell them on the secondary market in this. I'm not sure how it makes a whole lot of money for the guys that work in the card company unless they're pocketing them. But if you've got a big pile of money, do something good with it. Stop buying these cards that are one-offs that they're making special, not misprints, not something that was held onto in somebody's shoebox for 70 years. This is a brand new card. Why are people spending $2.6 million on it just because somebody put a cool hologram effect on it or whatever? You're idiots. Did you buy it for $2.1 million, Casey? Was that you before I
No, it wasn't me. I don't think about it, but no,
it's a brand new card. Why?
Just open a fresh pack and hope for the best. That's the fun in it.
That's what it is? All right. If you say so, I do not understand it. Where's my sound? There it is. Yeah, the Buzz. All right, Portland Trail Blazers are at the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. We talked about it earlier in the show. I don't think either of us like watching Ant Edwards play a full game, but he's a human highlight reel. The Blazers are getting closer to being able to host one of those play-in tournaments instead of being the road team. Are you putting any stock into the idea that the Blazers can go out and get a win against Minnesota?
Yeah, I mean, without Anthony Edwards, you could still win one. Blazers have to win some important games down the stretch if they again want to compete for a play-in.
Well, it says in this article that I'm looking at that we will not have Damian Lillard. He is out with an Achilles tear. For some reason, they have to include that in every single published article about the Portland Trail Blazers. We know. He's out all year. Just Get over it. I'm sorry to hear that. What's next?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Minnesota will probably win just because
No,
Blazers
forget you.
find a way.
Blazers win tonight. We called it here first. Get excited. What's next?
The Buzz.
10.7 million viewers tuned in to the World Baseball Classic finale. That is a pretty good number. It beats the average number of viewers that you got during the NBA Finals. Of course, that Finals was 2 teams from the Midwest, not in the biggest markets. It was Indiana versus Oklahoma City. But that's a pretty good number. You look at a World Series game where you've got fandom that has been built in over not just 162, but the 100 years of baseball. That was around $15 million. This is starting to get some momentum. This is more hype than I have seen around the WBC in its existence. 10.7 million viewers feels like an awful lot to me.
The Buzz.
And finally, your guy, Sean Mannion, getting set to be the new offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go Beavs.
Obviously, a exciting time for the Beavers. Well, here's a pretty good endorsement for you. Lane Johnson, the longtime left tackle for the Eagles, says that he loves the new offense. He thinks it's going to be easier for all of his fellow linemen. It's going to be something that it works a little bit more fluid with the guys that you have, and certainly at his position. I will tell you that if that is the case, the Philadelphia Eagles figured out how to make their offense look easy. That's a problem for the rest of the league. The Eagles have had the most forced, the most effort, the most friction in their offense for any team that I've ever seen continue to win at a regular basis. So if Sean Mannion ends up being the guy, are we okay with the Eagles winning more? I think we have to be.
I think we have to be. Part of me
So-
wants to ride for the Beavers, but also,
right.
I really hate Philly.
Well, I'm looking at a devastatingly handsome man. His name is Peyton Ruddy. He's going to join me next. We're going to talk some comedy. We're going to talk some sports. We're going to get you guys hyped. So if you've got time this weekend, you're going to go see him at Helium. We're going to do that next. But first, let's walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk and see what we missed.
This sports update is brought to you by Big's Chicken. Try their smoked and fried wings, tossed with a perfect dry rub, and served with a trio of killer sauces.
Man, I'll bet you
Menus
that goes.
at bigschicken.com.
I'll bet you that goes really well with college basketball.
First on the fan, to prepare for the impending NFL draft in April, Pittsburgh Public Schools will operate remotely from April 22nd to April 24th as the city prepares to host for the draft. Road closures, heightened security, parking restrictions, and heavy traffic as the city believes remote learning is the best option for that time. How do we feel about that, Luke?
It feels like the NFL is taking over anyways. They're shutting down schools. I kind of love this. I kind of hate this. But hey, if it's the best thing for the kids, that's the best thing that we can do. So thank you, NFL, for caring about the children.
And again, they're Steelers fans. They're not going to class anyways.
Well, amen to that. Well, you don't need an education to root for the Steelers. You're evidence of that.
For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Recruiting with Andrew Nemec, Thursday.
Welcome back to A-Lene. We're right outside of Tom's Watch Bar. We got the screens showing every basketball game that was ever played. I think there's 75 different spots to watch basketball out here. It makes my head hurt a little bit, but so does my bracket. What are you going to do? We are joined right now by Peyton Ruddy. If you don't know the name, he's kind of blown up recently. What was it, last October you were on Kill Tony?
Yeah.
That appearance got you a lot of followers.
Yes.
Then you started putting out your own content. Now you're touring in the Pacific Northwest for the first time ever?
That's right. Things are going well. I was in Eugene, Oregon the other night.
Yeah, what do you think of Eugene? That's a kind of a wild town. If you've never been to the Northwest, it is a small little hippie commune.
It's weird.
With a giant university.
Yes.
A ton of Nike money, and then surrounded by trees.
Yes, it's very cool. I like it, but I don't know. The whole vibe I'm getting from Oregon is like, it's a lot of like rich kid. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of pretend hippies. I'm blowing my market in Oregon right now.
Well, if you've only been in Eugene, you did one show last night at Helium in Portland. That didn't feel like rich kids pretending to be hippies.
No.
Portland and Eugene are very different.
And I'm not even combining the two.
Yeah.
Please come to the show tonight. I'm just saying it's a lot of people.
I brought you on to promote yourself and to trash your audience. You're doing it the right way. Good job. I got another question for you, and I don't really want to embarrass you, but here's your photo on the Helium website. Are you wearing the same shirt?
It's the same exact shirt. My friends call it Old Reliable.
Oh yeah. Hey, if you got a look that works, you're trying to build a brand.
Yeah.
If you show up wearing something without the flannel pattern, I'll tell you, the flannel look though in Oregon's a pretty safe move. So you're good there.
Exactly.
I want to get a little bit of your backstory. So you're how old?
I'm 25.
So you're just a pup. You started doing stand-up though when you were 17, so you're not new at this at all.
Right.
The Kill Tony experience, you moved to Austin.
Yeah.
How long were you in Austin before you ended up getting on that show? And well, do this, because I think it'll be better for you to tell people. For anybody that's never seen Kill Tony, tell them what it is.
So Kill Tony is a comedy podcast, and they have a bucket up there. It's hosted by Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yep.
And they have a bucket on stage, and all these people sign up. And if you get your name pulled, you go up on stage at the Comedy Mothership is where they film it now, and you do 1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute of stand-up comedy, and there's usually a guest or two.
Yep.
And they kind of rate your minute. They roast you. If they like you, they don't like you. It can go bad. It can go good. You kind of, and there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes,
it's just a vibe. Sometimes it's a great joke. So I've watched it, and it's. If anybody's ever been to an open mic, it's that on steroids with a professional roast panel there.
Exactly.
I mean, you get some of the biggest names in comedy that pop in. They don't have an obligation to perform, so they're just there to trash on guys that are trying to make a name for themselves. There's some guys that show up all the time and do 1 minute, and they're regulars, but this was your first time.
I've only been on the show once. I did it, and it went well, thank God, and I got to, it gave me a nice little boost in followers, and I got to kind of start going from there.
And I don't want to say anything that's out of turn, and I don't want to say anything that you're unaware of, but you appear to be a heavier guy. Is that fair? Oh, no. Uh-oh. I did it.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to handle that. I'm going to have to, we're going to have to hit blackjack after this. I don't know. I don't think I can handle this information.
No, they roasted you, your weight, your size, and that was, I think, what endeared you. And tell me if I'm wrong, but man, you rolled with that so well.
Yeah.
And the clip is out there if anybody wants to go and see it.
Yeah.
But that's something, if in comedy, if you can't make fun of yourself, you're never going to make it.
Totally.
But in the moment, were you just like, all right, we get it? Or were you like, what was your vibe? Because that's not an easy thing, even if you're making fun of yourself, when you've got 3 professional comics sitting there just blasting you on the same thing where you're going, duh, I know, I get it. Like, you're not the first guy to realize that I'm a big guy.
Yeah, I kind of knew it was coming. I knew, like, they're going to pick at the easiest thing or the most obvious thing.
Yeah. And come on, guys, do better. Do better.
Well, no, I mean, look, it's right there. The jokes were funny and whatever, and I knew they were coming. I kind of was expecting some of the jokes, so I kind of knew to punch back. And you know, they it was easy to, you know, to roll with it. You know, it's nothing I haven't heard. So
Yeah, for sure.
it was like an easy, you know, thing.
Peyton
And,
Ruddy.
yeah.
Peyton Ruddy is with us. He's going to be at Helium tonight. 2 shows. Tomorrow night, 2 shows. You can catch him
right.
at 7:30 or 9:45 tonight. 7:30 or 10 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yes.
So with any of the jokes that they used on you,
Yeah.
any of the new ones, did you just take them and use them in your act?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't do any. I really don't do any weight jokes. It's too easy. I think. I like to.
Well, you do have one that I really like. The I lost 100 pounds joke.
Oh,
as
don't
well.
give it
So
away! Don't give it away!
I'm not giving away.
It's my only good one. That's all I got. What are you kidding
you
me?
can't say you didn't do any. It's online, so
It's
I didn't give it away.
I know.
I didn't give it away.
I know.
Well, so how do you do that? So you're touring. Is this the first big national tour that you're on right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
So you're doing that, and that's one of the things that people get really protective of. And probably something that when I did stand up, I was too stupid about to know any better.
Yeah.
People get so protective of their material.
Yeah.
When I was doing stand-up, it's been a long time, so social media wasn't nearly what it was.
Yeah.
So how protective of you of your material do you feel like you have to be? Because a lot of what I've seen is your personality is big. Like
Yeah.
you have a good. You've got a good vibe, my friend.
Thank
and
you.
that's why I was excited to have you on.
Yeah.
That's something you can't replicate, right?
Sure.
There's nothing worse than somebody going, "Oh, I heard this guy's joke. Let me tell it."
Right,
It
right.
doesn't work. I'm not
No.
going to try to do any material. I promise
Please
you that.
don't.
But it
Yeah.
never works. But it's the delivery that is what is it's something that people will never be able to replicate.
Right.
But how do you handle all of the social media, all of that, and building your headlining act?
How do I handle like what on social media? Like,
Yeah.
just-
What goes on social media? What doesn't? What do you keep as yourself?
well,
yeah.
I mean, as far as I put out these videos every day, and that's kind of sometimes it's stressful because I had like one video do well in July and it
Yeah.
got like 1 million views in a day, and I was like, well, I got to keep the momentum going.
Sure.
So I posted every day since then,
Yeah.
pretty much. So I've made like 150, 160 of these videos now. So that part's kind of like, oh my God, like I gotta keep putting out videos. But it's, I mean, it's all, I'm just goofing around in my living room.
Yeah.
Like it's just me with a cup of coffee. You know, I'm kind of just filming what I would kind of be doing anyway.
Gotcha.
Almost, 'cause it's just me being stupid. So, you know, that's fun. And then I guess as far as like the, like being on the road, yeah, it's a very new thing to
Yep.
me, and I love it. It's very cool. But yeah, you have to learn to adapt how to do it and be gone for 2-3 weeks at a time, a month at a time.
Yeah. Well, how much like so you have 4 shows this weekend. How different will the first show you did last night? I guess 5 shows. So you did
Yeah.
the show you did last night. How different will that be from where you get to on Sunday night at 10 o'clock?
It depends. I mean, you know, depending on the city you're in, every comic has some local jokes that they probably find something like. I tried doing it on this show. I said everyone in Oregon's a hippie. It backfired. But that's what I would do on the show. You know, you have some local humor. A lot of people like to find out what town is like the white trash part of town or whatever, and they tie that into their jokes. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different things you can do.
Yep.
But I don't know. You know, it just depends. Like I'm working on my hour, and I'm constantly switching things around and seeing what works better in which place. You
Yeah.
know, so it's definitely not the same show. I'm doing a lot of the same jokes.
Sure. Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm not doing
yeah,
I'm
totally.
not doing a new hour every night like I'm Chappelle or something. But yeah, I mean, if you came to like a 7 p.m. tonight and then you came to the 10 p.m. on Saturday, I mean, I'd probably be doing things differently a little bit.
Yeah.
Trying newer. You always try a new
But
tag
you
on
are.
stuff
But you're
and-
right now. You're in that phase where you're working on that hour, so you get
100%.
ready for that special. So
Right.
hey, man, I'm envious of what you're doing,
Yeah.
but I also know how much work it is,
Yeah.
and it's a lot. So
Yeah.
very cool. You pulled up your bracket.
I pulled up the
I
bracket.
I want to take a look at that, but what we need to do is we need to obviously we have to pay for this show. So we'll let our advertisers do a little talking.
Let's do
Just
it.
stick around for me one more. We got
All right.
Peyton Ruddy. He's going to be at Helium Comedy Club. If you want tickets, go to heliumcomedy.com and check it out. You're listening to Happy Hour on 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network. kids, welcome back. Final segment of our 2-day sojourn out to A-Lene. Big thanks to all of the sponsors. Of course, A-Lene, Window Nation, George McCoy at Warren Allen, Attorneys at Law, Cricket Wireless, and Video Only. We've got Peyton Ruddy with us for one more segment, comedian. We were talking a little bit in the break. He and I both somehow got into the entertainment industry at 17 years old.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a funny thing. Neither of us have schools, but we
No.
both got brackets. There's 2 games going on right now that you might need to know about. Tennessee has a big lead over Miami of Ohio. The perfect season, not looking so perfect right now, considering they lost the first game of their conference tournament anyways. And then a great one between Utah State and Villanova. It's 58-57. There's 11 minutes left in the second half. Peyton, how's your bracket looking, buddy? How you feeling about this?
I don't think it's looking good. Well, I got Duke won, right?
Yes, Duke did win.
Duke won. They're moving on.
Yes, they
Same-
almost lost.
Yeah, I think it's already messed up.
Who did you have winning the whole thing?
I had, let's see, I think I had Villanova.
All right, well, Villanova is in it right now, so they are an 8 seed. That would be, I think, match the highest seed ever to win the tournament. I think that might have been Villanova back in the 80s. So
Yeah.
they are cutting it close right now with the 9 seed Utah State. Are you much of a sports fan? Did you grow up in Chicago?
I grew up in Plainfield, like Joliet area.
Okay, yeah. Joliet's a prison is all I know about Joliet.
Blues
Is that-
Brothers and all that.
well, yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
So, yeah.
So, big Chicago sports fan?
Yes, big Bears fan.
Okay, well, I think the obvious question is, how do
Yeah.
you feel about the stadium situation?
I
Because
think
that
it's-
is insane. Soldier Field, I've been. It's the weirdest stadium I've ever seen in my life. It's a stadium inside of a stadium.
Yes. Can you swear on this show?
You cannot swear on this
Well,
show.
I'd like to because it is absolutely insane what they're doing. I mean, I don't know. I thought they were like kind of like the mob, kind of pushing us into like. I thought they were kind of trying to scare us at first,
Yeah.
and now it looks like it's happening.
Yeah, well, what's the latest on that? I don't know if you get any updates on it, but last I heard was Northern Indiana.
Yeah, they're going to Hammond, Indiana, or something.
Yeah, I don't know anything that's official. I'm sure I would have seen that, but yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, they signed the papers, I
Yeah.
believe. So I think it's going to happen, but it's upsetting.
Yeah.
And you know, the Bears can't be in Indiana. They already have the Colts.
Yeah.
You can't have two. And as soon as we get our groove,
Yes.
like we have Caleb Williams.
Well, that was my
saving the
next
team.
question. Yeah, he's playing Tecmo Bowl, running back as far as he can and throwing the bombs.
It was the most exhilarating season I've ever seen in my entire life. My first memory of watching the Bears is Devin Hester returning the kick in the Super Bowl against the Colts. And since then, it's been nothing but pain.
Yeah.
And then we had the double doink with Cody Parkey against the Eagles.
Yep.
And then from there, it's been awful.
Well, what's funny, and I'm sure your family will have this, my brother is still a Bears fan because of 1985.
Well, they really hang on to that.
Well, that's all you have to hang on to. I mean, this franchise.
I think it upsets some people because it's like, let's move on. My dad is like, let it go.
Oh, your daddy, as a Bears fan, is like, come on, we need to move on.
Yes, because it allows you not to move on.
Yeah?
You're like, it's 40 years ago. Half the team is dead.
It is one of the all-time greatest teams in NFL history, but you're right, like you cannot hang your hat on it.
No.
And it's weird because I'm the opposite. I'm a Seahawks fan where my entire childhood they were awful.
Yeah.
And now they're in this zone where they might have the best GM in football, the first guy ever to win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams, entirely different coaching staff, entirely different players. So I'll tell you, just as growing, we used to wait till the playoffs started and then pick new teams.
Really?
We wouldn't even use the Seahawks in video games. Like they were awful for the majority of my childhood. So there is light at the end of the tunnel.
I know.
I got to tell you though, I hope it's not Caleb Williams. I just don't. There's something about him.
You don't like him?
I don't love him. I got to say that. Well, hey, you're a Bears fan. You're entitled to it.
Well, because you got old man Sam Darnold or whoever it is on your.
Well, I don't think he was the reason that we won the Super Bowl.
With walking around with a walker, slinging a touchdown. No, he's great. I mean, we would have lost to that team. They were so scary good. That defense was incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm just joking about Sam. That was a joke.
But I will tell you, the weirdest thing is having all of the great seasons with the Bears, even '85.
Yeah.
They have never had a good quarterback.
No.
You're the only franchise to not have a 4,000-yard passer.
Yeah.
It's weird watching Chicago with a good quarterback. Get a linebacker, get a tight end, and get a running back, and that's how you're supposed to win.
And our receiving core is incredible.
But you know what's going to happen is you're going to move to Indiana.
Yeah.
You're going to put Caleb Williams in a dome, and some other team wearing a Chicago Bears uniform will finally be good. I'm with you. The whole thing, the having a quarterback as your best player,
Yeah.
the having Indiana, all of it is super bizarre. We have 1 minute left. Tell our audience why they need to see you do stand up this weekend, my friend.
Look, guys, it is. I might be the greatest stand-up comedian to ever. No, I mean, no. I'm on this tour. It's a lot of fun. I'm doing this hour here that I think I really like, and it's fun, and the shows have been great. And I appreciate everyone that's been coming out. It's been so much fun, and it's a goofy show. I'm bringing friends.
I love it.
I got Tori Ward opening for me, Stephanie Robertson,
All right.
Tom Feedback, all the things. So come to the show.
Check out Peyton Ready. Go to heliumcomedy.com. Thank you for joining me, Peyton.
Thank you very much.
Everybody that is listening. Thank you, Casey Smith. Of course, thank you, Isaac Ropp. We're all done for now. Bye-bye.